We're doing the scavenger hunt again, but this time is with a twist, because this time you guys chose the prompts. Last month I did a bookshelf scavenger hunt and I used all of my usual prompts, and I said to you guys at the end of that video, comment some down below and next time I'm going to use your guys' prompts. That is what we're doing today. You guys came up with some really fun prompts, some that are very challenging. I'm a little nervous about some of them. A couple of them I had to tweak a little bit just to make sure they definitely fitted in with the whole scavenger hunt thing. But I'll leave pictures of the comments so you can see who commented which prompts. But thank you so much to anyone who sent a prompt in. Hopefully you guys are going to pick me a good book. If you are new here and you don't know what this video is, basically we have 10 prompts. Each prompt picks a book. That prompt leads us to a new book, and then the 10th book, our final book, is the book that we read together in a reading vlog. I think we're just going to jump right on into it and go with the first prompt, which is pick a book that you gave 5 stars. Nice and simple. What should I pick? I want to do a 5-star read that I read this year. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. It's actually going to be the book that I read in my last bookshelf scavenger hunt. So if you don't want to be spoiled for that video, click off this video quickly, go and watch that, and then come back. That was your warning. I'm about to spoil what I got. So I'm going to go with The Things We Do to Our Friends by Heather Derwent. This is the book that we got last month. I read it, I loved it, I became obsessed. Fun fact. I love him so much. My dad, after I posted that video, messaged the author on Instagram, sent her a link to my video and was like, my daughter loves your book. And she responded, and then she followed me on Instagram, and then I followed her on Instagram. We had a little chat. She's lovely. She has a new book coming out in May. It's called Sharp Scratch. The cover is gorgeous. I can't wait to read it. She also told me that Bunny is getting a sequel, which I didn't know, so that's crazy and very exciting. What was my point? She was a lovely woman. I loved her book. It was a 5 stars, and this is going to be the first book for today's scavenger hunt. Okay, prompt number 2 says, pick a book that has been on your TBR longer than the book that you are currently holding. That is actually relatively easy because I got this summer. It was when I was in Edinburgh, so that would have been August of this year. So all I need is a book that I've owned longer than August. That should be easy. Okay, I didn't want to overthink it too much, but I went for After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I believe I got this for Christmas last year, so I've actually owned it for ages. I need to get to it. I still have quite a few Taylor Jenkins Reid books on my backlist that I want to get to. This is one of her older books, and it's about a couple who get married and then kind of fall out of love, so they spend a year apart trying to like fix their marriage, and I guess they can do anything within that year. I'm very excited for it, so I'm going to go with that one. I've definitely owned that longer than August. Okay, oh, this is a fun one. Prompt number 3 is check the publication date of the book you're holding and add the numbers together. Then pick a book with that amount of letters in the title. Okay, that's a fun one. So this was originally published in 2014. Okay, so we do 2 plus 0, still 2, plus 1, 3, plus 4, 7. That shouldn't have been as difficult as that was. We need a book title with 7 letters in the title. That should not be that difficult. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7! You know I will do any excuse to talk about The Push by Ashley Audrain. This is a 5-star read. It was one of my favourite books of last year. It's a dark thriller about motherhood. I've banged on about it enough. I won't bore you again, but I love this book so much. Okay, prompt number 4 is check what country your book is set in and pick a book in a different country that you have been to. I don't remember where this is set. Is it England? But the language is saying like vacation and college, which makes me think it's set in America. Okay, to play on the safe side, I believe this is either set in England or America. I'm not sure which. I'm going to pick a book set in neither. Eleanor Oliphant is set in Scotland, I believe. Yeah, well, it doesn't say, but we're trusting my memory. I'm pretty sure this is set in Scotland. I'm 95% sure this is set in Scotland. This is another 5-star book for me. We're picking some of my like favourite books of all time. This is gorgeous. I can't even really give you a plot summary because the blurb barely gives you anything. It's kind of about this woman who lives a very mundane life, doesn't really like her co-workers. The blurb doesn't give you very much, but it's incredible. It's beautiful. I need everyone to read it. Thank you very much. Okay, we're on to prompt 5. 5 already? Wow. This is my mum's prompt. Go to the 14th page and the 14th line of your current book and pick a book with one of those words in the title. Now, I know why she picked 14, because it's my lucky number, but I think this is going to be harder than she maybe thinks it would be. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 14th line says, and I'll pop back in to see you in a couple of minutes, okay? I think back is going to be our best option. Let me consult Goodreads. I have one book and I don't think it's in here. It's Carrie Soto is Back. Our second Taylor Jenkins Reid book already. I'm so excited to read this. This one is on my monthly TBR, so I'm very much hoping to get to it. And I have video plans for it, so I'm pretty sure it's getting read this month. It's about a tennis player coming out of retirement because someone is about to beat her world record. I'm very excited. I think I'm gonna love it. Our next prompt is, oh, okay, pick a book more expensive than the book you are currently holding. This is funny because Carrie Soto is Back, I'm so sure was gifted to me. Yeah, it was. Therefore, I didn't spend any money on it. Therefore, I can kind of pick anything that I bought. Another quite easy choice, what should I go for? I'm gonna go for literally the first book that I've laid my eyes on, that I spent money on. This one cost me £1.50 because I got it in a charity shop, but it's still more than Carrie Soto. I'm going to go with A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. Actually, another one that I bought in Edinburgh. Can't believe that I've not read this yet. I'm so excited for it. I think it's a weird literary fiction about a food critic who kills her partner. I've heard it's like gory, weird. I think I'm going to really like it. Okie doke. Oh, this is a hard one. This is one of the ones that I'm nervous for. Prompt 7 is pick a book by an author who's blurbed your current book or an author with a similar name. On the front, we have Megan Appert. On the back, we have New York Times and BuzzFeed, and then we also have Kieran Millwood Hargrave. Okay, I don't have anything from those authors. I mean, we really only have 2 to pick from. I do have a Megan. Oh, no, I was thinking of Sorrow and Bliss, which is Meg Mason, not Megan. Let me see if I've got any other Megans. I don't. Have I got any Kierans? I don't think spelt like that. No. In which case, I'm gonna have to go for Sorrow and Bliss because I think it's the most similar. It's not that similar, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I specifically remember the comment that was left on my video and it did say you can go with a similar name if that's easier. So I'm taking you up on that. I'm going with Meg, which is similar, if not the same. Okay. Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. This is another literary fiction that I know very little about. I know that it follows Martha, and her husband, and it says Martha finds it harder to be alive than most people. The blurb doesn't say a whole lot more than that. That was enough for me. I think I'm going to be obsessed with this. It also has such a high rating on Goodreads, so very, very excited for that one. Okay, we're on to prompt number 8, which is go to the space you took your current book from, take your age and count that many number of spaces to your next book. That's a fun one. Okay, well I just took all the books down to get this off, so we're going to go from here. I am 24. I just turned 24, so we're going to count 24 spaces from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Reminders of him. Okay, prompt number 9, we have pick a book with more POVs than the book you are currently holding. Are you 1 or are you 2 POVs? Okay, we have Kenna's POV and we have Ledger's, so 2 POVs. That's slightly difficult. None are immediately jumping to mind. I need a book with 3 or more POVs. Oh, okay, I know what we can do. Oh, it's not really a POV though. Or is it? I can't remember. I'm thinking Cleo and Frank kind of follows. No, but it's third person, so it's not POVs. This is like way more difficult than I thought it might be. Ooh, where's Wayward? Does that not follow 3 women? I don't know if it's first person though. Yes, it does. We follow Violet, Kate, and Alpha. That's 3 POVs. Beautiful. Okay, brief intermission. I had to help somebody fix their car. When I say help someone fix their car, I mean I answered the door and then got my dad. Because I don't know how to fix cars. Anyway, what were we talking about? I think we were at Wayward. Literally can't remember what I was talking about, but I haven't read this yet. Excited to. It's a historical fiction about women, possibly on witch trials. Where is my laptop? What did I do with my laptop? Oh, it's downstairs. Another brief intermission while I go get my laptop. I need my laptop. I'm back. Wait, we're on to the last prompt. I hadn't even realised. Okay, oh gosh. Oh no, this is deciding the book we're reading. Okay, why do I think we had so much left? Okay, we're on to prompt number 10. Prompt number 10 is the same as it has been in previous times, and that is, let a random number generator pick a page in this book and pick a book title with a word from that page and then read it. I'm out of breath from walking up the stairs. Anyway, this book has 368 pages. So I'm going to pull up the random number generator and we're going to pick a page. Ready? Page 221. Okay, turning to page 221 and we're going to find a word on this page and that is going to give us the book that we read. This is the page. I'm going to try and like skim read without giving myself any spoilers. So, seeing flowers and plant and trees. I'm seeing Quicksilver, which would be perfect if I owned the book Quicksilver, but I do not. Bonfire, night. Okay, there's a lot of good words on here. I'm going to pull up my Goodreads and we're going to see if we can find some options. Do I have any for plant? No. Trees? Nope. What about quick? No. Daughter? Would I have any? Nope. Drum? No. Full? Must have one for full. Apples Never Fall. Okay, that is our first option. Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. Wave? Nope. Night. We have some really good options here. We have Talking at Night by Claire Daverley. That is a very strong option. We have The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. That is a strong option. I've got Dance and Gold. What about those two? Dance, nothing. Gold. I have Golden Sun, but that is the second book in a series. Fire. Horses of Fire. Okay, let me grab all the options and we'll have a think. So, our options. The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. Talking at Night by Claire Daverley. Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. Or Horses of Fire by A.D. Ryan. So, we basically have a historical fiction, 2 thrillers, or a literary fiction. The 2 that I'm immediately most drawn to are definitely these 2. So I think I might pop these 2 back. I'm just not really in the mood for them. See, both of these appeal to me because Lisa Jewell, I love Lisa Jewell. I love all of her books. She never misses for me. Lisa Jewell is just always a good time. Her books are easy to read and I'm very much craving easy reads at the moment. On the other hand, this is a literary fiction that has been compared to Sally Rooney. And you know I love Sally Rooney. It's also slightly shorter. This one is just under 400 pages. This one is 460, so a lot longer, but then a much bigger font. What should we do? We could let a random number generator decide. No, I'm going to decide. Also, how similar do these books look with like the blue and then the yellow strip down the end? That's just like such a coincidence. Anyway, I'm going to pick. I am going to go for literary fiction or thriller. Literary fiction, thriller. I keep saying what thriller slump I'm in, but like Lisa Jewell doesn't count. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go for The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. I want to say this will be like my 4th Lisa Jewell book this year. I've read quite a few. One thing I really love about Lisa Jewell's stories is that they tend to have a very like deep emotional subplot to them. So they are thrilling and they are fast paced, but they have like a real, almost literary fiction feel to them. So they kind of do the best of both worlds for me. We're going to be reading this in this video, so come along for the ride and fingers crossed it's a good one. Do you know what's great about that last clip? Is that I just edited it back and I have on the back of my head just a massive piece of hair sticking out of my braid, which is great because I then went to work definitely looking like that. So that's great. Fun times. Anyway, I filmed that about a week ago. I thought it was probably time we start The Night She Disappeared. Followed her heart to the places she's been. You can find in her photos all the time she spent. Traveling with friends and singing in the bed. The calm she feels on her family's lips. Hey pals, I fear it's been a bit of a long time no see situation. Probably, God, I don't even know when I last spoke to you. It was a while ago. I've been making progress though. I've been going back and forth between the physical and the audiobook just because, remember weeks ago when I was like, I kind of feel like I'm in a book slump, and then I was like, I feel like I'm not in one anymore. I think I still kind of am. And this is no comment on the book, by the way. I'm actually really liking the book. I'm not even in a book slump. I just don't want to read. And I don't know if that distinction makes sense to anybody, but I just am not making the time for reading. Something in my head of like, oh, it's the end of the year. I kind of almost want to just take my foot off the pedal a little bit, not read so much, and then start again in the new year. Except I still have 3 big reading vlogs coming out this month. And like I'm filming one at the moment, like one of the big ones. I'm filming this one. Haven't even started anything else. So there's a lot of reading that still needs to happen, and it's just not prime time for a reading slump. That all being said, thanks to my library, because they have the audiobook, I'm still making progress. In fact, I'm probably just over halfway now actually. I'm on page 246. So we are making progress. Did I ever tell you what this book was about? I kind of want to say I didn't. So we're following 3 different timelines. Because it's Lisa Jewell, of course they are perfectly interwoven. She just has this talent of every time you get super invested in a timeline, she'll swap it. But in a way that isn't frustrating, just in a way of like, I want to get back to that timeline, but then she'll throw you into the next one and you're equally invested in that one. So basically, first timeline, we're following Tallulah and her boyfriend. They are teenagers and they've just had a baby. And that timeline might be my favourite actually at the moment, because that timeline is basically following specifically Tallulah, like kind of adapting to being a new mum, but trying to like balance also going to college and having friendships and like kind of trying to balance those parts of her life. That stuff is really, really, really interesting. Then the sort of middle timeline, we're following Sophie. Basically, her partner has started running a school. So they've moved to this like elite boarding school and they're living on site. And Sophie has kind of found a few bits to do with Tallulah. And then the most kind of recent timeline, I feel like I'm not explaining this well. I'm sorry. The most recent timeline is following Tallulah's mum, and in that timeline we know that Tallulah basically went to a party in the first timeline and then never came home, which is suspicious because she was like so in love with her baby, she would never just leave. So Kim knows that something bad has happened, but the police have kind of given up on it. So we're basically, I haven't explained this well. First timeline, run up to Tallulah going missing. Middle timeline, different people, Sophie finding clues about first timeline. Third timeline, kind of aftermath of first timeline and I guess second timeline. I've not explained it well, Lisa Jewell has done a better job. You will know this if you've ever been to this channel before because I talk about this a lot. I am a big Lisa Jewell fan. I've read quite a few of her books this year. I definitely read None of This Is True and The Family Remains this year. I feel like I read another one as well. But this is at least my 3rd or 4th book by her this year. Like, I really, really like Lisa Jewell. She just doesn't miss for me. And one of the main things I like about her writing is that she has this almost contemporary fiction, literary fiction feel to her thrillers. Like, all of her characters and their relationships are very complex and deep. And that's what I like about it, because sometimes in thrillers you kind of get this quite surface level, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, creepy, whatever. I just feel like all of her characters are always so much more complex than that. I just love it. And I'm really liking how she's interwoven the timelines. It's super easy to read. I'm hooked. I've only really got a few more days left to read this because this video is coming out quite soon. So need to make some progress on this. But right now I'm currently filming for a different reading vlog. Currently filming, you will have seen it in the last video. I'm gonna do it in the same spot. Sorry, I'm being lazy. But hey, if you haven't watched that video, go watch it. It was the last video. Anyway, I'm rambling, but I'm gonna continue the night she disappeared and I'll check in with you when I've made progress. I finished this up this morning. I pretty much went back and forth on the audiobook and the physical book. The audiobook is really good, highly recommend. I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to literally anybody. I enjoyed the Lisa Jewell book. Of course I did. Of course I did. She doesn't miss. She just writes thrillers how I like thrillers written. And I can't really explain it to you. Actually, I can explain it to you. And I will. What I specifically like about this book, but all of her books in general, is the emotional depth you get with the characters, because it's so easy in a mystery thriller, whatever, to have very surface level characters. So for example, Tallulah in this book, you get all of these really deep conversations about motherhood, specifically her being a young mum, and we have all these conversations about her adapting her life so that she can look after her child but also go to college. She's got this really complicated relationship with her boyfriend. You get the relationship between her and her mum, and it just means that when she goes missing, not a spoiler, literally in the title, when she goes missing, you care. I mean, maybe I'm just like cold-hearted, but often in a mystery thriller, you know the main character's going missing, it's in the title or it's on the blurb, they have like one personality trait, they go missing, you're like, cool, alright. That sounds a bit mean, but I have read books where someone's gone missing and it's like, okay, but you never really saw anything of them. You might get the odd flashback, but because Lisa Jewell is so good at making you care about her characters and giving them all of these backstories, this proper emotional depth, really complicated relationships, when bad things happen to them, you care, which is gorgeous, and that's what I like. Lisa Jewell makes you feel things. Whether you like the characters or not, and you know me, I don't need to like a character to be invested in them. I actually quite like unlikable characters. Whether you like them or not, you're interested. You're invested in their lives, you want to know what's going to happen, and it means that the thrilling elements are more thrilling. So, another very solid Lisa Jewell book. It was really nice being back with her writing because she's a trusted author for me. I haven't yet read a book of hers that I don't like, and I still own a fair few. I have Watching You, I have I Found You, is that what it's called? I Found Her. Oh, Invisible Girl. Then She Was Gone. That's the next one I really want to read because I actually went to see Lisa Jewell talk this summer when I was in Edinburgh, and she said herself that her like 3 most popular books were The Family Upstairs, which I have read, None of This Is True, which I have read, and then She Was Gone. That was like the 3rd one that she mentioned, and that's the only one of those 3 she mentioned that I haven't read. I'm still pretty stocked up for Lisa Jewell thrillers, but they're just nice. They're a nice one to have on the shelf because I know if I'm in a bit of a reading slump, or I just know what I'm getting when I read her books, and I like it. Also, I found it really interesting when I was watching her talk. Sorry, I'm such a little Lisa Jewell fangirl, I could talk about her for ages, but she was kind of talking about her writing process, and I hope I'm remembering this correctly, she doesn't plan any of her books, she just starts writing them and like she doesn't know where they're gonna go, which I think is grand. Whenever I write anything, I need to have like the most in-depth structure ever. When I was studying screenwriting at uni, everything I wrote was so planned out to a T. I knew exactly when things were happening, where, whatever was going on. She's like the opposite. She just gets a really vague idea. She was telling us a little bit about her new book actually. She said something about, oh, she had this character walking through a field. It wasn't that, but it was something as like vague as that. And then she was like, and I just start writing and then I have a book. And I was like, dang, good for you. I could never, but good for you. And I think that's very cool that she never knows where her books are going to go either. But anyway, we have, of course, reached the end of our scavenger hunt. This was fun, and you guys picked the prompts, which makes it even more fun, and you picked me a Lisa Jewell, so I really cannot complain. Let me know if you want to see this video again. I really quite enjoy filming this video. Of course, if you have any more prompts, feel free to leave them down below. I had a few that were commented after I'd already filmed the start of this video, so I could definitely do a round 2 with some of those comments. So if you guys have any more that you want to add, please feel free to leave them down below and I will absolutely include those. Subscribe if you haven't already, if not for me then for Blue, and like the video, comment, all that fun stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. I love you, goodbye!